Welcome back. It's another episode of Trigger Warning. I'm your host, Kim Osorio, otherwise known as Kim O, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hey guys, it's me, TT. How are ya?
TT, how are you?
Oh, ready for vacation.
You ready? Because it's the end of December already.
It's the end of December, and I normally take off the last 3 weeks of December. I kind of tap out and go away, and
I know. I know you go away. Tell us about this
ready.
lavish holiday vacation that you take.
Well, I don't really like to tell people where
don't
I'm
wanna say
going.
where you're going?
I don't.
Oh, you're
Yeah, I
one
don't
of
like
those,
to tell
huh?
people where I'm going or when I'm going. I just like to show them when I come back where I've been.
Show
So
the
like I
photos.
don't like post and stuff while I'm away because I like to really like live in the moment.
Yeah.
I take my pictures and I do all that, but I kind of just shut off social media in general. Then when I get back, I post, my vacation pictures. But I am definitely going to some warm weather because it has been cold in New York. And although I have glasses on today, the sun has not been out.
I know.
So I'm
it's
looking
very
forward.
gloomy. It's very gloomy. It's like
Yeah.
a rainy day.
And the only reason why I got glasses on because I couldn't get makeup today. So I just said, let me throw on some shades and call it a day. I didn't even put lip gloss on. I was like, boop.
I will say, shades is a very good way to disguise yourself as a woman if you don't have makeup on. And I have big shades for that. People always trying to think I'm like doing some Jackie O Hollywood stuff. And I'm like, no, I look crazy under these glasses. That's why they on.
Yeah. No, I just put them on too because I'm just like, listen, I don't got time to do makeup for camera and I'm just going to do this and we're going to get to it.
We're going to get to it.
But the thing is that, with vacation though, you don't have to worry about none of that. Like your hair can just be in a bun.
Right.
You can wear braids. I go makeup free. I love the tan. I love the vitamin D. I put together my cute little
Right.
fits and whatnot.
Right.
Like I just ordered like a bunch of stuff off those little websites. And then I put them together with the cute little shoes. And you throw your jewelry on and some big shades and you're good to go on vacation. Little lip gloss, you're good.
So I have not been on a real vacation in quite some time. And I'm actually thinking about,
Why?
I think work, I think life. I think there was a time where vacations were a priority for me, right? And I love an
And then
island.
what happened? So they were
I
a
don't
priority
know.
and
I
then
think
you
it's-
stopped?
It's a sad thing to talk about. I feel like I went through this emotional period of, after my divorce and everything, I didn't prioritize like me and taking vacations. And I wasn't in any situationships, let's talk about it, where that was something that we did, right? And so, and I've been places with people, right? I've had like those, let's call them a little like getaway, but they're not a vacation.
But I'm saying,
a
why-
vacation, like
why-
4 or 5 days, you
Yeah,
get
but
away,
my thing
you
is,
focus,
like-
you have time to yourself. I have not had that.
Why do you need a situation to have that, though?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I have not ever done a trip alone.
or with
Work
your
trips,
girlfriends?
work trips I have, right?
What about your girlfriends?
Good question. I'm gonna get there. I can't afford right now to do a vacation with my girlfriends. So work is so up and down. So it's bad. Like it'd be a situationship, and then the guy's gonna pay for it. With my girlfriends, we are at a certain level in life where we like luxury. And my best friend has taken a couple of really key trips. She just asked me 2 days ago. She's like, "Do you want to come with us to?" And I said, "No, girl, I'm not doing that. Because if I can't, I'm not doing that. If I have other priorities financially for myself, I know what it costs to vacation because I've done it, and I don't have it. I don't have like."
What about with your kids?
That's a good question as well. They are almost as much as the luxury vacations I take with my friends. So like my kids and I have gone away. We've taken, and that's not a vacation to me. That is not a vacation to me. When I go away with my kids, and whether we're visiting family or we're, maybe we're going somewhere, that is stress from the time I wake up until I go to sleep. They got this, they want this, I want something to eat, what are we doing today? When are we finishing? When are we leaving? That is not a vacation. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Like, now, I will say, my girls are getting to the age where they're like 17 and 24. I might actually enjoy something with them. So that is something I could consider, because we can go a little bit, like, we can lower the scale.
I
we
think
can go
people
to an
think
island.
like vacation has to be super duper exotic. Really, it's about relaxing and clearing your mind. And whatever you can afford, just do it. You know, I'm so disappointed that my son is in basketball season, because we always take 3 to 4 family vacations a year.
Right.
And a holiday time is one that we always do. We
Right.
leave right after Christmas through the new year, and we have a great time as a family. This year, because now he's in high school, it's a different level of commitment with basketball. His coach said, no, he cannot go. Unless he
heard that,
wants to
Coach.
lose his starting
Coach
spot.
said, it is no, y'all will take no vacation. We are
So
working.
it's interesting is we already paid for the vacation, paid for his flight, everything. And I was like, hey, well, we didn't know
Right.
like that you guys will be in season. And the way the schedule falls is they play up until Christmas Eve. Then they have practice the next day. Same thing as Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was on Thursday, 8 a.m. practice on Friday. So I was so exhausted. I had to get up and take him to practice, and then a game on Saturday. So they have no break. And so I said to Matthew, I said, you know, do you want me to fight this? Do you want to really go? And then, you know, I can do the mommy thing. And you know how the mommy starts to get into it. And he was like, no, I'm not losing my starting spot.
Right.
He was like, no, I earned this and I don't want to go on vacation. So this is the first time in a very long time that we aren't going on a family vacation together. I'm still going. And
as you should.
my husband is still going. But my mom
Is gonna be with your son.
Is going to be with our son. And I'm like, but I feel kind of guilty about it, because I'm like, well, maybe, and I'm like, well, maybe after, you know, the practices and the game, maybe for New Year's, we could fly him in so I could spend the countdown with him.
Let it go.
But then I looked
it
at the
go.
schedule, and it couldn't even happen, because it's like New Year's happens, practice at 8 a.m. the next day. And I'm like, who does this to
You're
kids?
drill sergeant,
Like,
Mom. You're like, we need a vacation. We need this. We need that. I need to see my son. I need to see. I
it
had
go.
to let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, when my kids left, I was home alone on Thanksgiving when they
Yeah.
left. After my family left and everything.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was like, it's Thanksgiving and I am home alone. Like alone, just
Yeah.
me. No family. Like my aunt had this big thing that had happened. The kids were with their dad. They over there playing games. And I just had to sit in my loneliness. Like,
How did that make you feel?
are we doing this podcast?
I just want to know. 'Cause
it's so
I
long.
feel like
So I had some, so let me say this. There were places I could have gone, right? I had some friends that were like, oh, come over here, or we're doing this. But Thanksgiving was exhausting for me, so I wanted to like clean up, relax. But I think it felt better than last year when I was alone. So every year it gets better, because I am the best company that I can have, me.
Yeah.
I know what I like, and I think I'm getting to a place where I'm sort of understanding that no person can, and this is maybe the vacation thing, maybe that's the next step for me on some Eat, Pray, Love, you know,
Yeah.
let me go on a vacation by myself. But I don't really want to be by myself. But I have to be comfortable with being alone. Nobody really wants to be alone, I don't think. I don't think anybody wants to be alone.
Let's
But
unpack this for a second. Let's unpack this. Is it you being alone a choice that you are committed to make? Or is being alone the best option for you because you're afraid of opening up to the next thing?
hold on. This is we gonna revisit this conversation. This is a real conversation, and we have some real stuff that
I'm
we need
just
to get
curious.
to. Okay. I think I can say confidently that I would like to find the right person and not be alone. I also think that I have learned that sometimes just wanting that has probably pushed me to entertain things that I shouldn't have entertained, right? So I want to be whole within myself.
So you're
happy
conscious.
with myself.
You're being conscious.
Right. So like, you know, if I'm not just going to choose somebody just because I don't want to be alone. I'm past that, right? So like, and I'm getting past it, right? There's still sometimes you're like, well, dang, I'm really sitting here alone on Thanksgiving, right? But
How long has it been since your divorce?
8 years.
And you can honestly say you're truly over that part of your life?
Over being married?
Hurt, no, the
person.
pain. The pain and the
I'll never get over the
discomfort
pain.
of
I'll
that.
never get over the pain of what that was. Less about the person now and more about what happened, right? So like that pain was really hard for me to deal with. Now, when it comes to the person, I'm like, girl, oh God, what were you thinking, right? But it took me a long time to get there. And I think because of that, I've entertained situations that weren't the best for me, right? Because I was like, oh, well, this person is so much different from who I had in my marriage. And this relationship or this connection is so much different. But it's like a happy medium that you have to come to. Because for me, I'm like, well, you know now what you like. You know the quality time you like to spend with a person. Like, you know, and I will say that there's a lot of times where I've gotten into situations where I just wanted that situation. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
But my
I want to
question
be
is-
married, so I'm gonna forego all of this other stuff
Because I just want that.
because that's what I want. So all these red flags that you see, you just act like they're not there. So I know now, I'm like, oh wait, that wasn't the right person for you because y'all, you know, there was no compatibility here or there.
But there's
or you had a
something,
different
it's
love
something
language.
that you said to me that just kind of struck me. You said you'll never get over that pain.
Right.
So could it be that holding on to that pain is blocking that next level of intimacy that you can have because
Yes.
that pain is still
Yes.
very real for you?
Yes. Can we get to our topics? Because listen, we'll be here all day if I start talking about that. What you're saying is 100% on point,
Yeah.
right? So it's
But
either, it's one of
at
two
some
things.
point, you gotta let
It's
that
one
go.
of two things. I either gotta let it go, right?
Heal from it, not let it go.
Heal, right? I either gotta find someone who is willing to deal with the pain that I have, right? And who is, and maybe has their own pain. And I'm like, because everyone has pain, and I don't know
But
if
you
you
don't
truly
wanna-
heal. I don't know if anyone really truly heals from certain things, right?
You can.
I don't know.
I'm speaking from a very experienced place with that type of
But
pain.
relationship,
No, very traumatic, dark pain. But that takes a level of commitment to heal.
understood.
That it takes day in and day out, lifetime commitment to heal that pain.
We need to put a pin in this because we.
Okay.
But here's the thing: this is what happens. This is what happens on trigger warning, right? We get here because we're both living these like separate, like no. There's really no connection for us. That like we don't work together.
Yeah.
We don't see each other. So then we get here, and we head into like one little conversation, and it's like, wait a minute. But we only have an hour, and I have to. So we only have an hour.
Yeah.
And
This is like kind of where we catch up.
Yeah, this is our catch up in the
We don't
beginning.
get to see each other
Right.
during the week because she's busy being an entrepreneur and a mom. I'm busy being a mom, and I work a real job, and so and then I have a bunch of different hustles on the side. So this is
But
our
you know what?
catch-up time.
You know what the good thing is? Because y'all don't really know me out there, right? The good thing is when we do this, it kind of introduces us to the audience that's listening, that's watching, to see like, oh, I didn't know that about her. So y'all gonna have to tune in next week or the week after or whenever we can get to this real conversation about relationships, because I think, and healing from that, because I feel like that's such an important topic, and I know a lot of women, and I connect with a lot of women who have gone through stuff. When we share those type of experiences, that's where a lot of my healing has come. But I'd be remiss and not to mention the topic that's been on my mind for the last 2 days. And that's why when we were called in today to do this, it's like, yo, Titi, we have to talk about this, because trigger warning started. I mean, obviously you and I were like, oh, we're going to connect on different topics. This podcast would be a great podcast to do because of things. And then boom, the Diddy case happened. And we actually sat down in chairs and had our first episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like the case that broke, or the news that broke over this past weekend, is another one of those moments in the culture that we have to talk about. This is like, to me, this is huge. This is huge.
You're talking about the Jay-Z lawsuit.
I'm going to get there. I was trying to build it up. Like,
because to me, it's not.
It's huge.
Two in the same.
It's huge. It's not the same.
It's two. No, it's not the same. It's two different.
It's a huge news media. Now, I know there's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of things. But let me just say what
they're
happened.
not one and the same. I feel like.
Not the same, but for us to be sitting here and having these conversations, I feel like, obviously, it's not as big of a story as everything we're seeing with Diddy. But I feel like this Jay-Z accusation, the mere accusation, look at the news cycle right now around it. And just for those of you who don't know, everybody knows, Jay-Z has his name, Sean Carter, has been added to a Diddy lawsuit that was filed a while ago, a couple months ago, I think October.
So
they added his name.
So the lawsuit was filed, just to give context, because I've been researching this for my radio show, the Tap In with TT radio show that I do weekly. So back in October, this lawyer,
Tony
Busby. This is, to preference the lawyer, this is the lawyer who held the press conference. This is the lawyer who put the 1-800 hotline out there. This is the same lawyer who's being sued for, another anonymous person is suing him for trying to shake down high profile.
He has said that person is Jay-Z.
No. This is a separate one.
Another lawsuit.
This is a separate one.
Okay, because he said Jay-Z is suing him as well.
No, Jay-Z filed his lawsuit.
Right. Against him.
Which he is saying is
but
anonymous.
But it was initially anonymous.
Yeah, that he's saying is anonymous. There's two other lawsuits that were filed against him. One from another high-profile person that says that he tried to shake him down for money. And then another lawsuit was filed against him from this person who he won a case against, a high-profile accident case. You know those, like, those big attorneys that go out and they seek millions of dollars. If you break your ankle, they're like, oh, no, you broke your leg and you got to get this. And the government and the person responsible, whatever. So he won this lawsuit for this person. Then he took he gave him money, personal money, but then taxed him 60% on the money. Long story short, just to give context of who this lawyer is. So in October, the lawsuit was filed against Sean Diddy Combs for allegedly sexual assaulting a 13-year-old minor at the time, who claimed that she went to the VMAs at 13 years old. She couldn't get into the VMAs, but she met this limousine driver. And this limousine driver said, hey, I can't get you in the VMAs, but I can get you into the after party. So her friend dropped her off at the VMAs after party, which happens to be Sean Diddy Combs' after party. She says she started drinking, didn't feel well after she drank, went to lay down, and that's where she got sexually assaulted. In the original lawsuit, it was Celebrity 1, Celebrity 2, watched as Sean Diddy Combs sexually assaulted her, and then
they actually, in this particular case, they say rape.
Raped her, and then they started participating in the rape. So they didn't name
the two celebrities.
So this lawyer said that, so this new lawsuit that was filed was from that original case. And so the
Well, it was
demand letter
refiled. What he did was he refiled it.
He refiled it to put Jay-Z's name in the case. So he sent prior to refiling, he sent a demand letter for mediation. He's claiming, oh, I sent the demand letter for mediation, not asking for money, but to sit and mediate.
Right. Which is standard.
No.
It's a lawyer. It's a lawyer move.
It's standard, a lawyer move, but you mediate for settlement. You mediate for settlement. I can't talk about it, but when your lawyer sends someone a demand letter to mediate,
Right.
that means you're going to sit down to negotiate
Right.
your person's demands.
Right. To negotiate. You want to,
let's keep it
right.
real, it's money. You're going to negotiate that money. So let me finish. So then Sean Carter was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. So he refiled the lawsuit naming him.
Right.
Which, okay, you're not going to refile, we're going to make this public, blah, 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 and your
Right.
reputation. That's the whole goal, right, is to ruin his reputation, to take money out of his pocket. Because here's the thing that people have to understand. When this original lawsuit was filed, Diddy doesn't care about his reputation no more. It's already ruined. Why does he care about his reputation? He's not going to pay her no money because it's like, okay, you get in line. So when you're a lawyer, we can't shake Puff down for money because he doesn't care at this point. Get in line. He's done. He's ruined. He's out the pastures. Oh, so let's go to the next person. And let's go to the next person. And let's go to the next person. So that's why when I look at it, I'm like, I got to see how this plays out.
Right.
I got to see how this plays out because when you look at the documents, it is heinous. And got to remember, this is a civil case. This isn't a criminal case.
Right.
It is heinous. So when she says she was dropped off by her friend, then she called her dad to pick her up. So her dad came, picked her up, and there was no rape or sexual assault police reports or anything ever done at that time back in 2000.
Right.
And so in looking at these documents and looking at both statements, I'm just like,
Well, I think we should get to the statements. Before we get to the statements, a couple things I want to note. One, when the case was filed, it was filed under Jane Doe, right? So that means that they did not name the accuser.
which
right?
Jay-Z has now filed.
He has now asked them to name
and
this
expedite
person.
these
Or to-
proceedings,
right,
To
or
name
to
this
drop
person
the
because
lawsuit.
in his response, he's like, if this person can publicly say all of these things and ruin my reputation that I have built over the years, and the lawyer publicly go into all these sites to publicly talk about it, then I have the right to know who this Jane Doe is.
Right. So that's what that's the lawsuit that he filed
In
in
court.
response after his name was
mentioned.
added to this lawsuit.
Right.
Okay. So that's one thing that I wanted to know before we get into the statements, the Jane Doe of it all, because that's a big deal right now. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the court to decide whether or not they feel like Jane Doe should be named. That's the first thing. The other thing I wanted to note was that, this case, and I think that there was news, there's new news that I just saw on a Newsweek article. I'm going to pull it up, right? But this case, like you said, was filed in October, and it was just recently filed with his name attached. And there were some changes I saw that were made to the file, which is also standard, right? Like, when you file a case and then you refile, you might be making changes to some of the allegations that you have in there. So there were allegations that I think they just were revised, and people are starting to point that out. Let me just say this, Beyonce's internet, they call it Beyonce's internet, right? They're like, Beyonce's internet is out there. There's internet gangster investigators on both sides, right? So right now, there's a lot of content in the space about this case, right? And about these alleged acts and people's theories about what they think and how they feel. I understand the argument that people might want to get money out of this, or this is a money grab. But I also, when I see a case filed, I'm always reading everything, and I always understand that when you file a civil lawsuit, money is always the remedy. That's what you're looking for, right? Because however you've been wronged, you're looking for someone to correct it. If something happens to you like that, there's really no way to remedy the situation, right? Like you can't go back in time and reverse what happened to you. You're going after money, right? The lawyer got to get paid. The victim wants to feel some sort of like remedy, like no amount of money can fix what I went through, but money could help, and the person should be able to be accountable. I want to say that. Wait, I want to say that because
That's
it's
true.
it's like, oh, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. It's always a money grab. It's always a money grab. Any civil case is always people are trying to get money. So the lawyer, does he want to get paid? Absolutely. And is he looking for attention? Absolutely. But I don't want to focus on the lawyer here. I don't care about this lawyer. There's ambulance chases all around the country. Like, that's what they do. I care about the accusations that are being claimed against one of the biggest artists that we look up to. So I want to know more about this case. And I felt like his statement, the statement that he made, didn't really address the allegations the way that I needed him to address the allegations.
I disagree.
Like, I'm just saying.
I disagree with you. Why am I, if I am Jay-Z,
first thing you need to say is, I did not do this.
He said
I
it
did
in
not
that, he
do
said it in
this.
that thing. If I am Jay-Z, why am I harping on the allegation that I know it not to be true?
Let's read his statement first. Because this is
And
what I'm
then
saying.
he just says, I look forward to showing you exactly who I am.
Let's read his statement. Because here's the thing. When I read the statement, first of all, I thought the statement was written very, and I know people be like, Kim, why do you care about how the statement was written? I do, because I work in media and press, and I understand the goal when you write a statement is to sway public opinion.
But
that's what you're trying to do.
But that's your perspective,
Sway public opinion.
But that's your perspective.
Let's read it. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. Like, right there, when I read it, I said, I don't care about that.
You.
You're Jay-Z.
But that's you.
These accusations are being filed. Like, anyway, okay, let me go on. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle.
But that's typically what they do.
Any victim that files a case, most of the time, what people do on the other side when they're accused is call the woman an extortionist. That you can Google. That is a tactic.
But you
that
also,
is a tactic.
But you also do realize. Let me get it straight.
That's a tactic.
You
though.
do realize there are people that do that as well.
Absolutely.
So two can be true.
They're both true. Absolutely.
But two can be true.
It's very defensive when your response to something so heinous.
But to you and your perspective, right? But to me, I'm looking at it as it can be very offensive to him to be accused of something so heinous.
It is. It's horrible. It's a horrible accusation.
Exactly.
So the first thing I think is that you should say, I didn't do that.
But that's basically what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
He talk about a lawyer in the first two sentences.
Of course, because the lawyer is the one who the lawyer.
All right, listen. That's what make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. He's still on the lawyer. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? Then I have a whole issue about why it's written in the King's English. Like, I'm like, who talks like this? Implore you to like a criminal complaint. Would you not agree?
Would you not agree? Like, where are you trying to go with this?
That?
But Kim, this is my frustration right now. This is my frustration.
What is this, Bridgerton?
What is? No. This is my frustration. Where are you trying to go with this?
Okay, I'm talking about the allegations and how the statement is read because I feel like
what's wrong with that? If I'm being accused of something that I know I did that I didn't commit.
Okay.
I'm going to shut you down as the person who responded.
Because I feel like this is all, where I'm going with this is I feel like this is all like a media, I do believe that there is this attempt to take him down, right? Like on a like this media play. I do believe that.
So you think his statement is a media play, but you don't think
it's all a media play.
But you don't
It's
think
all a
the
media play.
attorney's media play was to update it and put his name in it and didn't think that it was going to get
It's all a media play. It's all a media play. But I want our artists to be held to a certain standard. I don't like to put personal opinion out there like that.
I want our guys at the media to be held accountable in what way?
I want them to understand what they are being accused of is serious and that there are things going on like that, right? So if you get accused of this, right? Now this is, they playing a media game right now. Him and the lawyer and all of that. These are real allegations. This is a real lawsuit.
But he said that in the statement. He literally said in the statement.
Let's take this serious.
I implore you.
I implore.
He literally said that in the statement.
I implore.
That if such heinous crimes were committed to file a criminal complaint. And then he goes on to talk about how heinous. And if it wasn't serious, if it wasn't serious.
No, I would say
I think it's perspective. I think it's how you view it. It might be how you view it.
I do go a little bit deeper into stuff like this because I'm watching how artists use media to sway public opinion.
And so does attorneys. We talked about this in the Puff case. Literally, in the Puff case, the prosecution and the district attorney is literally putting stuff out there to taint the jury pool. That's has been something that has been done the test of time.
Point taken, right? This allegation is very serious against him, and it is definitely something that is being designed, right, in my mind, to kind of take him down. I don't know if it has anything to do with the Super Bowl and the NFL.
I don't think it's to take him down. 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 I think it's, we can't go after Puff because Puff is no longer the big fish for us. He don't care about his reputation. It's ruined. He don't care about the money. Get in line. So, Jay-Z's next to him. Jay-Z was the one in that room. Jay-Z, we want this bag. You're not going to give it? You're not going to give it up? We're going to put this out here. You're going to lose whatever deals you got in the making. We're going to sway public's opinion. We're going to shake you down until we get it.
Let me finish the statement without my commentary. I apologize. I had to put the commentary in because the language to me is weird. It's weird language. These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. Okay, he addressed the victims. I appreciated that part of the... I did because there's a lot of alleged victims. The lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, we back to the lawyer, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirits. That paragraph was, I get it. It was a throwaway to me. That he just wanted to tug on people's heartstrings because everyone loves the Carters. So nobody wants to think about them. Like, I get that, but I think it has no bearing on this case. And
but
it's just
public.
like,
it's his family.
You know, who doesn't love
public.
Beyonce and
But what he's saying is that
you're
going public and my kids, like, I see nothing wrong in that statement.
My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world. Okay, that was good part of the statement, who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. A dig at the lawyer again. I just felt like it was too heavy on this lawyer. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you how different I am. I don't know. In my opinion, what is all of that? I don't know what is. That was a lot. Just like, bro.
I don't think so. I beg to differ.
I did not, whatever.
Differ.
I don't know. Maybe it's the legal mind that I have, because I know this is a game that they're playing with with this back and forth public perception. Everybody cares about their image and whatever. I did not do that. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted from somebody like that. I did not do that.
But it's like
I did not do that.
He said that in
talking
this
about
statement.
your family.
Of course he's talking about.
My family's gonna go through so much. You're a horrible person. You're a horrible lawyer. You know, I'm like, I don't care about this lawyer.
But that's you. The point the lawyer was making in updating that lawsuit was to drag Jay's name through the press and through the mud. He knew exactly what he was doing when he updated that lawsuit and put his name in it.
I hope that there's not a real victim here in this situation.
But my whole thing is, my whole thing is, he has a right to defend himself and his family against anything he sees that is frivolous and is simply untrue in his experience. In his experience.
That was a very feminine type of statement. I don't know, that's my opinion, sorry. I know I gotta hold my opinion back. I disagree. Was like, the statement was like, nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. So here's the lawyer, Tony Busby. Post a picture of himself from his Marine days. Recognize this guy? This is a picture of the Weapons Platoon Command, the Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines from our old Western Pacific Cruise book. Despite a coordinated and aggressive effort that has included harassing my kids, contacting my clients and former clients to encourage them to sue me, contacting my colleagues or former employees asking if I've abused them, showing up at my current employees' homes to harass them, filing frivolous cases against me and my law firm, defaming me with outrageous assertions to anyone who will listen, and having mysterious people follow me and my family, I'm still that guy. I won't be bullied or intimidated. People will see through this effort to discredit me and my clients, and the truth will be revealed. I also won't allow anyone to scare my clients into silence. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am quite certain the sun is coming. Another very girly statement. Both of them are playing a media game.
And he knows exactly. Here's my thing with this lawyer. You held a press conference, bro. You put a hotline out there. Like, bro. And me and you sat on this podcast and we said, the same lawyer when this happened, we didn't know all of this was going to go down. You put a hotline out there. How is it possible to screen when you put a hotline out there? Mm-hmm. The truth from the untrue in this era of where we live. How can I remotely take what you're saying seriously? Like, I can't not unsee that. And that to me is like, bro, my opinion is, watch this play out.
I'm watching it play out. Look, I don't want to, and see, that's the thing. I would never talk like someone is guilty. That's not it. I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not going to do that, especially someone like Jay.
Yeah.
At that level of his career. But I'm also not excusing anybody because they are that person or they're that successful. I'm not excusing anything because I can't tell you what these guys do behind closed doors.
But we've always said that. We've always said that. Like, we literally have always said, if these allegations of Diddy, whatever, Jay, whatever, are found to be true, then they need to be held accountable.
Right.
But what we have
witnessed... And that's all I was saying about the accountability thing. But the thing is this, when it comes out, look, I get that people file frivolous claims, and I get that people lie, and I get that people try to destroy people's credibility in the media. I get all of that, right? But a lawsuit was filed. right? And I just want us to take it seriously. I want us to stop looking at, as a community, to stop looking at the lawyer and what he's doing. I want us all to take it seriously. Like, this is a serious allegation. I don't know why it's being...
But it's a serious allegation on both ends. Like, it's a serious allegation to put on someone if it's true or untrue.
Right.
Because two can be this.
Right.
Two can be the same.
And listen, if this guy, if there's no victim and he's making this up, if this attorney who could be disbarred for that, so it's kind of like, are you going to put your entire career on the line to try to cash in on whatever you think you might be able to get from Jay-Z? I don't know. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot to come forward to file a case like that in court. As an attorney, you're putting your entire career on the line when you're filing frivolous lawsuits, especially one of this magnitude, right? So if he's making this up, if there's no victim, if there's no woman that said that, he should be held accountable. He will lose his license. You know what I'm saying?
But
Jay, let's just say,
he could have, but no.
That's what they're saying. They're saying some people are saying there's no victim.
If there is a victim,
right?
Let's just say he does have a victim.
Okay.
Let's say he does. But you have to have the facts.
Right.
You have to have the facts. When you file these lawsuits, you have to have the facts. Here's the thing. Anybody can say whatever they want in the court of law. They can file whatever lawsuits
I say
they
that
want.
all the time.
But you got to back it up with the facts.
Evidence.
And that's where Jay is basically saying, I look forward to showing you how different I am in a court of law. And asking the judge to expedite the case so that he can prove his case in a court of law. That's the thing. People can say whatever they want about you. You have to prove it in a court of law. I remember a situation happened with one of my closest friends where she alleged something. They held a whole press conference. It was a whole to-do thing. It was so loud on the internet. Mm-hmm. So loud. Every camera was there. When she got locked up, it was a whole thing. But nobody said nothing when when it got dropped, when it found to be untrue. Mm-hmm. And the civil case was thrown out because it was no evidence of anything that was committed. When it's loud and the truth, make sure it's loud, whatever happens and how it plays out, as loud. If you look at what happened with Lizzo, right? So loud what happened to Lizzo. But nobody is covering the fact that civil case got thrown out from evidence not found in the filing. That lawsuit of sexual harassment and all that stuff.
I remember that. I saw that it was thrown out. I saw that. But,
So it's like...
Then there's always an argument for the other side, right? There are cases that are filed. There are cases that are thrown out based on procedural reasons. Your case can get thrown out if you file it in the wrong court. So the media, because of that, does play a huge role in how these things play out, right? Because, and I've said this before on this podcast, sometimes a court of public opinion is more important than what happens in court. Because there's a lot of people and there's a lot of victims and, sexual harassment, sexual assault, all those cases, like, to me, you don't, there's a low percentage of people who are actually successful. Let's just talk about sexual harassment cases because that's what I know. Like, a sexual harassment case, is super hard to win in court, to just come forward and win. Like, 3 to 6%. You don't win on that. I want my case on retaliation and defamation. That's what I run my case on. And my attorney told me that if you have a retaliation claim, that will help you because it is so hard to win in court a sexual harassment case. You could be sexually harassed every day, but taking that to court and proving that, it's just a difficult thing to do. So a lot of victims don't come forward and speak about it, and that's just harassment. When it comes to rape, sexual assault, that's another thing, and I haven't done a homework on those type of cases, but it's hard to come forward. You're going to get ridiculed. You're going to get blasted all over, right? And I think that's part of the reason why they're making the argument that they don't want to reveal the person's name. Now, that's something that I haven't even really come to like an opinion on. Do I think that they should release her name or not? I'm like, I don't know. Is it fair for her to be anonymous, and not have her name out there? But then he's a high-profile person, so his name being out there is different.
And he's a high-profile lawyer. The only thing that makes me raise eyebrows about that is, so if you didn't want your name out there, why didn't you keep your lawsuit moving forward with just celebrity A? Why did your lawyer jump out the window to put his name out there? Because you could have went on with your claim.
I believe that's all legal strategy. I believe that's all strategy.
But that's my whole
strategy.
But
it's
that's
not
my
about
whole point.
I get it. That's
so
all
that's
strategy.
why I'm on the fence about whether her name should be out there or not. Because legally, your lawyer used a strategy to put his name out there because what he was doing wasn't working. So now, is it unfair for you to stay anonymous when your lawyer said, oh no, we'll put his name out there?
Right. See, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm still like, I still have to go and read because I'm kind of like, what happens when her name gets put out there, right? Like, and then, according to the lawyer, he's saying he's receiving threats on the other side, like he's making a lot of accusations too. So, clearly there's something else going on. My point, there's something else going on here. This is not just about these accusations.
Well, my grandmother
There's
said, whatever you do in the dark will eventually come to light.
And look, again, rape of a 13-year-old, it's so serious in nature. So I understand, right? Like, why they have to pull out all the strings in terms of this statement being I just feel like people are so quick right now to go on the side of oh well, he didn't do that, but we don't know what happened.
But
we don't know what happened.
But I also think that people are also quick to say, oh, he did that. So I haven't seen a lot of people say. I have not seen a lot of people say he did that. I've seen a ton of stuff on the internet. I've seen a ton of stuff.
Well, you know what the internet is gonna say.
I've seen a ton of stuff on the internet.
You know what the internet is gonna say.
We like I said, we gotta watch it all play out.
But that's why I won't talk about. I won't reference the stuff that I've seen like that because I do feel like a lot of that stuff is not relevant to the claim that's being made, right? And so,
if the claim is even relevant.
Well, the claim is the claim. That's what that's
but
out there. That's in court.
Well, I know that.
That's in court.
What I'm saying is, once everything comes out, we got to see how relevant the claim is to his participation in it, and we'll see. He's asking to expedite.
Right. We'll see. This is gonna play out. There's a lot of stuff being reported about this particular case now because his name was added to it. But a lot of people are speculating online about who this other celebrity could be, right? Because they're like celebrity A, and look, and I think
so. Then why didn't the lawyer put both of the celebrities in there?
I don't know. He probably sent another demand letter to the other celebrity. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I think it's just very interesting that the statement was what it was. The Roc Nation statement was what it was because one, I think it was prepared and they knew it was coming. This is my point. I'm getting to it. It feels like they knew that this was coming, not just from the demand letters and whatever. People have been saying they call it Beyonce's internets. Jay is next. Jay is next. Jay is next. You can't tell me you haven't seen that for the last year.
I mean,
Jay is next. So people knew something was coming.
They all assume Jay is next because he's
so.
friends with Diddy. I'm not buying that.
I don't think
I'm
so.
not buying it.
I don't think so. Because look at all the
to the next subject.
Look at all the celebrities that's out there.
I'm over it. I want to go to the next subject. I'm over it. It's so ridiculous. I'm over it.
You think that the claim is ridiculous that it was Jay? That it
No,
was.
I think the whole internet saga and comments, it's like, yo, let it play out in a court of
Okay,
law.
we're gonna let it play out.
Let
We're
it
gonna
play out in a court of law. It's just
it's-
so much. It's so overwhelming, and some of it is just so ridiculous. Some of it I like. I remember when, Wendy, believe it or not, God bless Wendy. There were some things Wendy would be like, that ain't true. Even Wendy didn't report everything. She would be like, when you in a room with her, oh, this, that, that, oh, yeah, no, that, yeah, but this, that. She even had a sense of like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but she had a sense of like discretion. And it's like the internet is literally everybody's playground. And it becomes so exhausting that it's like, it's so much foolishness. And then you just see everybody just run whatever thing that's going to give them the most clicks or the most bait or the most like engagement, because everything is an engagement game now.
Right.
So it's like, yo, there is a court system. You know what I mean? There is, things that have to play out in a court of law. Let it take its due process.
It does.
And it's like, you run to conclusions without the due process. Even in the Puff situation, right? I still feel like there are things he should have just came out and been accountable for, especially when the video of Cassie came out. You knew you did that. And like, even with all this other stuff, there's still parts of it that's like,
But I will say, a lot of people said Cassie was looking for money.
But
a lot of people were saying that about her.
yes, but what I'm saying is, even some parts are like, now it's like,
I get it. It's overkill. It's on both sides. You're always going to have like the extra stuff going on. I get
but
that.
There is a court. I say that to say, there's a court of law. It's a due process. Let it happen. Everybody just on the internet becomes, if there's a war breaking out, everybody becomes the foreign war expert.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a criminal case come out, then everybody is a criminal expert or forensic psychologist or whatever. If there is a snowstorm, then everybody becomes the greatest weather person. It's like just becomes so overwhelming that it becomes exhausting. It's like, yo, let it play out in a court of law.
So okay, we will. We'll stick a pin in that. This thing is going to be going on for a long time.
Right.
This thing is going to be going on. We're looking at the Diddy's case coming up. Now all these accusations are coming out about Jay-Z, who was at the premiere for Blue Ivy's Mustafa, which they looked beautiful.
And congratulations to Blue Ivy Carter. I think that was a beautiful moment for her.
It was. It was just, you saw 50 Cent had something to say about that. But listen.
The movie was going to come out regardless. It's coming out December 30th. December 20th is when the
timing,
movie.
well, that's my point about the timing of all these things and the accusations coming out, because I do feel like there's a bit of a, somebody trying to take Jay, somebody trying to really drag him through. There's a lot of things coming out about him. But anyway, we'll move on from Jay. We didn't get to talk about, because I know we're running out of time now, we didn't get to talk about the United Healthcare CEO suspect.
That is so insane to me, because someone I'm very close to and I had the conversation when it originally happened, because they were actually in Manhattan at the time that happened, around the same area. I believe it happened around where the Rockefeller Center tree is.
Yes.
And they were here because the lighting, the tree lighting was happening later on that day. And so I said, so this person said, I think it's someone who might have had a grievance with the medical industry.
Right.
And I was like, but it just sounds like a hit to me.
It was.
And then I started seeing the mistakes afterwards, and I'm like, that's not a professional hit. Because a professional hit, you're not going to be seen at a, what's the thing called?
Where was he?
When he was saying that, when he had the mask off his face.
At Starbucks? I think he was at Starbucks when they took one of those photos.
It was at
and then they apprehended him. They picked him up at McDonald's and
in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, it's a little weird if you're fighting for healthcare, but then you was at McDonald's when you got arrested. All the details are crazy to me.
But it's interesting because the family did release a statement, basically stating that they're in shock.
Luigi Maggioni's family?
Yeah, Luigi Maggioni's family has released a statement and said that they're in shock. And obviously they found out when the world found out, and they really can't talk about, what's going on, because he has been arrested. According to the NYPD, Luigi Maggioni
Maggi, I don't know how to say his last name.
hopefully we're pronouncing that correctly, was arrested and charged with the murder.
Was he charged already?
He was charged.
Ooh.
As of today, he was charged with the murder of the CEO of United Healthcare. And so they're saying that he basically was upset that one of his family members didn't have the proper health care that they needed during the time that they were sick. So he had a grievance against, so he plotted and planned the assassination of the CEO. I thought it was like a professional, me personally, when I first saw it with the silencer and the way he rode off on a bike and just knowing how Manhattan moves.
Right.
Like Manhattan moves since 9/11. There's nothing you can do here and get away with it.
There's cameras everywhere.
It's just, and it's a different type of camera system, right? So like for him to have the silencer, ride off on a bike, masked up, skied up like that, I'm like, yo, this is like a hitter type thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't think it was like a Pennsylvania graduate. I think they say he graduated from the University of Pennsylvania or something like that.
Yeah, but I know that we're coming to a close, so I want to just kind of say something. Well, you know, the Jay-Z thing was going to take up the whole time. All of these clues that he had, delay, defend, depose, right? Like there were so many clues that pointed to the fact that it was about the healthcare system, that this was like someone who had a grievance. But I don't know. I don't know, because now I'm looking at it like it's an episode of Law and Order. Like, why were so many clues left? Maybe they're trying to throw you off, right? Like, maybe there's something else. And then I was hearing or reading that the CEO had dumped a bunch of stock right before it happened. Look, we have to probably, we'll see how this one plays out.
So you think it's a conspiracy theory that this kid didn't do the murder?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just saying it's weird that there were so many clues. Okay, we gotta. I know we're coming to a close. I wanna. We missed it. We didn't even get into the acquittal of the man who choked Jordan Neely.
Daniel Penny, right?
Is it Petty or Penny? Penny. Anyway,
he was acquitted and hanging out at a New York City bar after
he was acquitted, and so I think next time we can talk about that. But I mean, you know. It's a tough one, I think. I think
that one is very tough. That one is very tough for so many levels, and like it's one of those situations that's kind of sticky, right? Because when I first saw the story, I'm like, damn, nobody deserves to die in that manner.
No, nobody deserves that.
But at the same time, if you're a New York train city rider, you know how crazy it gets, and
it does get crazy.
Can we talk about this next episode? Because I think we have to break that down.
We should definitely break it down next episode. Thank y'all for joining us. It's Trigger Warning. Follow me at Kim Osorio 1, at Kim Osorio Media on YouTube.
TT Torrez, 3 T's, ORREZ. Sorry we took up a lot of time today.
I know with Jay-Z, but you know what? When people hit us up in the comment section, and we could go all day.
Yeah, we can go back and forth.
Hit us up in our Instagram and our DM. We'll keep talking about this stuff. I know I love talking about it.
It's a great debate.
That's why I do what I do, right?
It's a great debate.
I'm like, wait, we gotta wrap, but y'all can still talk about it with us. Make sure you hit us up.
Hit us up, guys.
Yeah, like, you know. Tell us what you want us to talk about. And tell us if you thought we talked way too long about Jay-Z. But I think we're going to be talking about Jay-Z for a long time, even though TT's not going to want to talk about it with me. She's not going to want to talk about it with me. You're not, right?
No, I mean, I'll talk about it. I just don't know if you want to hear what I got to say.
No, I definitely want to hear what you have to say. I definitely want to hear.
I definitely talk about it. I'll talk about it with anybody.
It's Trigger Warning.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.